media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots.
The answers he won't give are louder than the ones he does. In a stunning exchange, Congressman Jared Moskowitz corners Kash Patel on conspiracy theories, January 6, social media radicalization, and the Epstein question that refuses to die. What was said matters, but what was avoided may matter even more.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I begin, I want to caution my colleagues on, one-sided violence in this country. We just heard that there were no riots on the right. We're literally sitting in the building where there was a giant riot by supporters of the president, the right. We also heard that only leftists, have said that Trump is a Nazi. In 2016, the current vice president of the United States said, Trump is either a cynical asshole or he's America's Hitler. And so this is the problem. I don't want to have to say this garbage, but you want me to sit here and get painted with one brush, the whole left. No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms. It's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that. What's happening is you see people celebrate Luigi Mangione is a byproduct of all of that. And so if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's mind. And so I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So now, that was the good part. I want to take your attention back a second, okay? Breaking news. Kash Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates, rejoices, bells are ringing out. The team, Patel, Bongino, that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. The names are finally going to get released. It begins. They produce white binders. Phase 1 with the podcasters. This is not actually one of them, of course. I made this. Your name's on it, right? And the names are going to come out. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. Oh, no phase 2. Phase 2 binders never happen. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never have been. And yesterday, in an answer to Senator Kennedy, you said the FBI is not in possession of any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. So according to your testimony yesterday and in this committee, According to the evidence the FBI has, the number of names on the list are zero.
No,
Zero.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking operation were charged in 2008.
Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate and here is that according to the evidence you have, the number of other names is zero.
That were charged based on credible evidence.
Well, who are the other names? Give me the other names that weren't charged.
We are not releasing the names of anyone because the Department of Justice never does that of anyone that didn't have any credible information to attack them.
Let me move forward. The president you've seen the picture of the woman's body with the writing and the president's signature. The president says that's not his. Okay? The president says it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration say it's not his. Will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate for putting out a fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you be opening that investigation into that?
On what basis?
On what basis? They literally put out a fake document, according to the president, with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I look forward to that investigation. Am I over? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your diligence.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Now let's cut through the noise and look at what the actual record reveals. What unfolded between Congressman Jared Moskowitz and Kash Patel was not just another partisan clash, it was a referendum on truth, accountability, and the consequences of years of political misinformation. 1. The framing, rejecting the one-sided violence narrative. Moskowitz opens by directly challenging a familiar talking point, that political violence is somehow exclusive to the left. His point is blunt and difficult to refute. They are sitting inside a building that was stormed by right-wing extremists on January 6. This isn't rhetorical flourish. It's contextual grounding. He dismantles the idea that rhetoric labeling Trump as authoritarian or fascistic is unique to Democrats, reminding the room that Republican leaders themselves, including the current vice president, used similar language in 2016. The underlying message is clear. Backhand index pointing right selective outrage is part of why extremism keeps growing. 2. Extremes exist, and ignoring one fuels the other. Moskowitz refuses to defend the fringes of the left, and that's strategic. By openly acknowledging extremism on both sides, he removes the shield often used to dismiss criticism as partisan. His argument isn't ideological. It's structural. Extremism thrives when it's selectively condemned. Democracy erodes when accountability becomes tribal. This sets the tone for what follows, a demand for consistency. 3. Social media as the accelerant. One of the most consequential moments comes when Moskowitz shifts to social media. He doesn't treat misinformation as abstract, he names it. Conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk. False claims about FBI-manufactured evidence. Public figures amplifying unverified narratives. Foreign governments and bot networks poisoning discourse. This is where the hearing stops being theoretical. Moskowitz draws a straight line from unchecked platforms' radicalized users' violence in the streets. And crucially, Kash Patel agrees, at least in principle. That agreement matters. 4. Section 230, the rare moment of bipartisan ground. When Moskowitz says, "I'll work with you on Section 230 any day," it's not a throwaway line. It signals something rare in modern hearings. A shared acknowledgement that the system is broken. A willingness to address the infrastructure of misinformation, not just its symptoms. But then, the tone changes. 5. The Epstein pivot, where answers collapse. Moskowitz pivots hard to the Epstein case, and this is where the exchange becomes uncomfortable. For years, Kash Patel and allies promised. The list is coming. Phase 1, Phase 2. The names will be exposed. White binders. Podcast tours. Public hype. And then, silence. Moskowitz forces Patel to reconcile the promise with the reality. No list. No Phase 2. No additional charged names beyond Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Patel's own testimony confirms it. Backhand index pointing right. The FBI has no credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else. That's the moment the myth collapses under oath. 6. 0 is an answer, even if no one likes it. Moskowitz reduces the issue to its core. According to your testimony, the number of names is 0. Not unknown. Not classified. 0. And that's devastating, not because it protects elites, but because it exposes how politically profitable conspiracies were sold to the public without evidence. The refusal to release uncharged names isn't a cover-up, it's DOJ policy. Facts don't bend to viral narratives. 7. The Trump signature allegation, a legal trap. Then comes the final move. Moskowitz introduces the alleged forged document linking Trump to Epstein, and he flips the burden. If it's fake. If the signature is forged. If it implicates a sitting or former president. Then that itself is a crime. Forgery is not protected speech. When Patel says he would investigate it, on that basis, Moskowitz locks him in. This isn't about guilt, it's about process. 8. The bigger picture. This exchange wasn't about embarrassing Kash Patel. It was about something larger. How conspiracy culture corrodes institutions. How social media amplifies lies faster than facts. How politicians profit from narratives they later abandon. Moskowitz's most powerful argument isn't spoken, it's demonstrated. Backhand index pointing right. If you promise the truth, you don't get to walk away when the truth is boring. The hearing exposes a paradox of modern politics. Everyone demands transparency. Few accept the results when transparency contradicts belief. And that's the danger. Because when facts stop mattering, power fills the vacuum. And that, more than any list, is what should worry us most.